All hail the king of crypto, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Macro Crypto. Every single Monday, we drop knowledge and a fresh perspective around Bitcoin. And yeah, we're delayed. We're dropping this on a Tuesday, but we'll be back on track next week. Now, as you well know, we are not Bitcoin maxis, but we do believe it is king for a reason. So in this video, we're going to be acknowledging some use cases surrounding Bitcoin. We've talked about them previously, and we're going to continue using it as a talking point, giving you some more knowledge and acknowledging that Bitcoin is different for everyone. Also within this video, we're going to be talking about the pizza day that happened 2 days ago and the significance of that within the crypto space. Also, charts and graphs. Where are we tracking for the summer? Bitcoin is the market maker, so the markets do follow Bitcoin at the end of the day. And then ending this video like we do each and every Bitcoin chat, DCA into Bitcoin on a monthly and weekly basis. Also, guess what? This is not a zero-sum game. So Bitcoin is not going to be the end-all be-all within the crypto space. It is a positive-sum game. So understanding Bitcoin is just going to help you be more successful when also looking at other tokens such as Ethereum, Solana, Cardano, Polkadot, and then even goes into the small cap coins and privacy tokens and DeFi and even NFTs. But the more you can understand Bitcoin, the better off you will be. So if you do enjoy this content, give us a like and subscribe. Head over to the Twitter page at Macro Crypto Club. Like always, link will be down in the description. Give a follow over at that Twitter page. Let's go ahead, everyone, dive into our content today. Some use cases, something that we all understand, and what Bitcoin is for me currently and how I utilize Bitcoin is a store of value. Digital gold, digital property, something I can park my money and build wealth through the number one performing asset. And it has been since 2010. And in my mind, it's going to continue well past 2030. At some point, it won't perform as well as other assets, but I don't know if that's going to happen in my lifetime. So you might view Bitcoin as the same. We ran a little bit of a poll the other day and got 4 votes out of it, and everybody was utilizing Bitcoin as a store of value. Continue to stack those Satoshis is only for the benefit for you. And at the end of this video, we're going to do some DCA so that way you can see where we could be at as we adjust the price. Bitcoin eventually getting to $1 million per Bitcoin. Also, some use cases around Bitcoin, of course, is a transaction technology. Peer-to-peer, business-to-peer. Basically, a new transaction is entered. The transaction is then transmitted to a network, peer-to-peer computers scattered across the world called nodes. This network of computers then solves equations to confirm the validity of the transaction. If the transaction does not work for some of those validators around the world, then it doesn't go through and it doesn't get onto the block. Once confirmed to be legitimate transactions, they are clustered together into blocks. These blocks are then chained together, creating a long history of all transactions that are permanent and never to be erased. The transaction is then finally complete. Now, Bitcoin itself is layer 1. We've talked about layer 2 before, the Lightning Network, bringing faster transactions to the Bitcoin network, and ultimately next to nothing fees. And we've talked about the Lightning Network in a previous video. We'll highlight that at the end of this video. So that way, if you want to check that out, you'll be able to click on that video at the end. Some other use cases surrounding Bitcoin, of course, is the transfer of energy, digital energy, allowing people to mine Bitcoin across the world and utilizing energy to gain wealth or a little bit of extra revenue for power plants potentially. And this is really allowing for energy to be mined in different parts of the world that were never applicable for producing energy in a value sense. So this just gives even to the lowest part of just an individual trying to mine it through their home, but also at a corporation level, allowing them to garner some value for excess energy that they might generate, especially for those power plants around the globe. Also, this is something we just posted about, Bitcoin being a defense or basically a military. The miners within the ecosystem securing the network can be considered a defense technology and a military on top of the Bitcoin layer. Now, Jason Lowery will throw a link, had an interview with Pompliano and also Robert Breedlove Basically, we will throw in the Pomp interview. That way, if you do want to check that out and further understand that, individual graduated from MIT and is currently working for Space Force. Now, understand what Bitcoin is and how it can be considered a weapon in the first place. This interview really lays it out for you. So if you do want to check it out, link will be in the description below. Also, another use case is that it's a safe haven. A lot of people view safe haven as where you park your assets based off inflation. We already went over this. Yes, we do view that as a store of value or a way to beat inflation, but a safe haven also in regards to against corruption, against a government where you don't have the stability that we do here in the United States or maybe over in the UK or other parts of the world, but an ability to have trust in a network that isn't going to screw you over at the end of the day. And a lot of individuals around the world don't have a government that they can trust. And do we really in the first place? But that's so corrupt where they really devalue their money to a point that it becomes worthless. So going and parking their money into Bitcoin allows them a safe haven for their wealth. And if they ever do need to leave that country, as long as you have those private keys stored in your memory, you can take your Bitcoin anywhere in the world without carrying any device. All you need is that private key memory. Now, heading over to some of the Bitcoin pizza news. Bitcoin's pizza day happened 2 days ago. What the significance is of that was the first transaction to ever take place on a blockchain, as Bitcoin, of course, was number one. 2 pizzas were paid with 10,000 Bitcoin. Yeah, you heard that right. 10,000 Bitcoin. Dude is definitely not going to make it. Should have hodled that shit. No, obviously that has significance. Making Bitcoin a peer-to-peer transaction or allow that ability to take place in the first place. Obviously, the transaction at that time probably worth around 20 bucks or so, or actually it was worth 41 at that time. Current value, or right around roughly, is over $300 million. Though that Bitcoin. Now, of course, one tomato slice would equate to $878,000. It's just fun to joke with that the pizzas, how far we have come. And guess what? Those pizzas are going to continue getting more expensive with time. This is not the end of it. 300 million might sound like a lot, but eventually that's going to be 300 billion for those 2 pizzas. But that's the significance. A lot of people celebrate Pizza Day that happened this past Sunday with obviously ordering pizzas. Whether you're part of the Polkadot ecosystem, Ethereum, Solana, or even just in the DeFi or NFTs, everyone supports Pizza Day because ultimately we are here today discussing crypto because of Bitcoin. Now, checking out some of the charts real quick, discussing a little bit of the market cap dominance. Bitcoin currently around 43.2%, depending on where you get your market cap information from. Ethereum hovering around 18.7%. And this gives you a little chart of over time, how has the overall market been for Bitcoin, Ethereum, and all others. As you can tell, when we have a peak, ultimately Bitcoin's dominance is downgraded. But then when this bear market ensues, Bitcoin really ramps up their dominance. And as the price of the entire space decreases, everything else bleeds against Bitcoin. This is why a lot of individuals currently where we're at right now are, if we do go into a full-on bear market where this is over a period of 2 years, Bitcoin, everything else will continue to bleed or move sideways while everything bleeds and Bitcoin just moves sideways. Guess what? Then that just means the dominance of Bitcoin, parking your asset in Bitcoin is only going to be beneficial to you, but it doesn't mean that we're going to have a long bear market. But if that was to happen, based off past history, Bitcoin just is a little bit more successful at holding its value during those times. Now, checking out the Bitcoin rainbow chart, we've looked at this previously. Currently right now, where we're at is right around, is it saying 30? Okay, right around $29,183. Now, this is an accumulation phase based off of where the Bitcoin rainbow chart is at this time, and that could dip us down into buy, basically fire sale. Now, if you've noticed anything previously, anytime we do get to these halvenings when Bitcoin's amount of Bitcoin that's used or that's going to be mined per block is cut in half, we typically get to that basically a fire sale point before we go into our next all-time highs. Each time there's a halving taking place, new all-time high, new all-time high, new all-time high. So next halving, pretty far out, all the way out in 2024 at some point. No specific date as based off of the different blocks, but they're guessing around March of 2024 right now. We'll continue to track that. But where we go from here, we're about a little over halfway through this current cycle. So we can expect at some point to get down here in the basically fire sale. Maybe do we get a bounce back up, then come back down right before the halving. We'll see how this continues to track. But basically right before that, right around $40,000 is what you can expect a Bitcoin to be in early 2024 potentially, or late 2023, before we get that halving that takes place in 2024. Now, checking out some of the charts real quick right now, Bitcoin, yes, is not doing an amazing job giving us a bearish look, or a bullish look right now. If that video paused, apologies, but we're going to continue moving along right now. Bitcoin basically is well below that bear market resistance band, as Benjamin Cohen likes to put it. And these prices are right around, hovering around $39,000. So we have a lot of work to be made if we want to try to get back above this to get us into a bullish sentiment. Now, what has happened in the past is we get to this, it fails, and we come back down and we really capitulate hard months later. That happened back in 2018, and we'll see and continue to track it, but hopefully we can maybe move a little sideways and then make our way above it to get a bull market support band instead. But who knows? Current price of Bitcoin is around $29,234.86. Now, we bought Bitcoin yesterday around $29,053.57. So that was our $100 buy-in to Bitcoin yesterday, giving us over 300,000 Bitcoin for the third week in a row. We have yet to do that in previous weeks. Bitcoin, we've been buying them at very juicy prices from what we've done in previous weeks and even months, giving us over 5 million Satoshis. If you don't remember, Satoshis is the smallest unit of a Bitcoin. At this point, those 5 million Satoshis, yes, we're at a 25% loss on our weekly and on a 30% loss currently on our monthly. But if we expect on that total investment of $2,000, if I stopped purchasing Bitcoin and Satoshis at this moment right now and didn't purchase another Bitcoin or Satoshi, either on even monthly at 500, and we all expect Bitcoin one day to be worth $1 million, that $2,000 will be worth $51,000 in that time frame, in that timeline. When do we get to $1 million? I guess it's a good mine, but it's probably by 2030 is if I'm going to throw a guesstimation out there. But also on the monthly at $500, that $500 will be worth almost $12,000 at one point. That's if I stop buying Bitcoin. Now, if you continue to purchase Bitcoin at $100 on a weekly basis, this number is only going to climb. But obviously, we are currently at a different price point. And, oops. I'm over here just putting commas instead of, okay. So, though, that will be a very nice future outlook for us, but currently right now we're at a 25% loss and a 30% loss on the DCA, but we're getting some juicy prices. Will we get juicier prices heading into summer? I don't really know, to be honest with you. A lot of expectations are that through summer, we're just going to stay flat until later this year, or do we get a little bit of a relief rally throughout the summer? This is going to be a wait and see approach. We really want to see this to start to climb up, as we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 red candles. The current week is also red. This is a record. I think previously it was 7, 9 red candles in a row, just bleeding week after week, is a record for Bitcoin at this point. Hopefully a relief rally is around the corner. We'll continue to wait and see approach, but hope everyone enjoyed this content. Until next time, everyone,